Today's episode of the podcast is with Veronica Valerio. Veronica is a very talented singer, harpist and lyricist. I came by her music through Van Dyke Parks, who she's working with at the moment on an album, and he told me about her, so I checked out her work, and it's really amazing stuff she's doing with the harp, her voice. So we talked about her upcoming album, which is out in April, and we talked about Mexican culture, and we talked about loads of different things. It was a very interesting conversation, and it's cool to learn more about other people's cultures, and she's a lovely person and has a beautiful soul. So thank you very much, Veronica, for taking time to talk to me. I appreciate it. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed the podcast and go check out her music. Cheers.
Hey,
How are you, Veronica?
I'm very good. What should I do, Paul? How are you?
No, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Still alive.
I like the Spider-Man.
I know. It's a bit ridiculous, but I kind of liked it. That was cool.
I do like it.
Did you have a good Christmas?
I made some presents. I printed some photographs. Some of them were happily received and one not. It broke my heart.
Oh, why? Who didn't like it?
Don't know. I thought it was a fun picture, a selfie.
Oh.
It was turned out to be a fun one.
Wow.
For the other. So it's all right. It broke my heart for a day, but then
Yeah, fuck
cool.
it.
How about you?
I had a nice one, quiet. Just a quiet one. I got a synthesizer, so I was playing around with that. I got a new
I got a new
synthesizer, so I was playing around with like a synthesizer. You know, like a synth.
Right, but
So,
you were playing yourself.
Yeah. Just for Christmas, I was kind of messing around with it. So I was like a kid, just going. How's the album going?
How's the what?
How's the album going?
The album going is good. Not me. They're finishing a mix, a very what? How could I describe this? A very tropical song is that we're working on. White tropics. That I live, and it's gonna be the first one. The first one with the mix ready. That's what I mean. And yeah, exciting.
You're excited? That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a long time since my last song that I sent out to the public. How you say that I released?
Yeah.
Yeah, since 2015. So it's well. I've been just here playing for myself and that beautiful plant behind me. And those nice chairs.
Has the plant got a name?
The plant is growing happily. I think, yeah, we're good friends.
Okay. Does he have a name or she have a name? Did you name the plant?
No. No, it's just a friend. Never thought of that naming. People ask me also about the harp name, and I don't know.
Maybe Van Dyke Parks. Van Dyke Parks, the plant.
I don't know if he would like. Yeah.
Never know. Ask him.
I can ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So when is the release date for the album, or do you have a release date? Or?
April.
Oh, right.
Not before that. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's I don't know. It's not slow. It's not fast. It's just what it is. And I embrace that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What's the name of it?
Something that has to do with white tropics. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So tell me about, so people who are listening, what age did you start playing music at?
I should say around 14. That's when I started the music school.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why my mom sent me to a music school is because in my country, to have a high school on arts, there is like 3 or 4 in the country. There were 3 or 4 in the country at that moment. So she couldn't send me away. Rather, she decided to find a music school in the
Ah,
morning,
okay.
a dance school for the evenings, and I'll do my regular classes on Saturdays, like school class. So by when I was growing, I wasn't thinking about being a musician. I thought I would be a dancer. But the dance I like is the contemporary one, right? So it's really opening and it looks beautiful, but inside it's just like the classical one. You're holding yourself, you're stressing in and out. It was weird to me. It was dichotomic. I don't know if you have that word in Spanish.
Dichotomy.
Dicotomia. It didn't make
Dichotomy.
sense.
Yeah.
How can they express so much mm, elasticity while inside is kind of the opposite? So I didn't like that relationship with the dance, but the good thing is that in my school, uh, in this art school, there were few musicians playing by the fountain. They
Hmm.
were playing traditional music, and they were my age. So
Okay.
it opened my eyes to see them improvising at such a young age. It wasn't in my ¿cómo puedo decir? It wasn't until that moment that I realized that music is not just playing the instrument or knowing a song, but improvising
Mm.
rhymes and making a party, a live party.
Yeah.
So while I noticed that, it blew my mind, but I didn't enter to it. It took a while
Right.
to reposar, to reposar, for that to steam in my body, to sink. I don't know the word.
I get you.
And yeah, then life happens, and then I finished the music school. I left the dancing school, and I moved to New Orleans. And
Wow. You lived in New
mhm,
Orleans. Oh,
I
wow.
live in New Orleans just for a year
Amazing.
before Katrina. That was 2004, I believe.
Oh.
And yeah, my plan was to study voice, no harp. The harp, it was in the horizon, but just like an instrument that it was there for me to, once in a while go and check it out, some few notes here and there.
Hmm.
Because I told you the other day in my city, harp and jarana, which is a small guitar, they're
Yeah.
traditional instruments, but they're they belong to the tradition with the old people, but also for the young. So it's no special to own a harp or a small guitar. Kind of everybody owns these instruments. I mean, if not everybody, pretty much every, you know.
That's cool.
So when I moved to New Orleans, I took the harp with me, and I was just in an English program. I couldn't make it to the music school because, like I say, it was just a year that I could stay there. Because by the time the hurricane came,
Yeah.
this disappeared pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yeah. Um,
did you like living in New Orleans? Because the music scene is amazing there. There's like loads of jazz and everywhere.
yes, I love that, and that's what everybody sees, the music. But the culture,
Right.
to me, it was so like living in here, like the
Oh,
tropics.
really?
People, yeah, people sitting at their porch,
That's
right?
cool. Yeah.
Like 10 people, from grandpa to the little niece, nephew, like everybody, right?
Yeah.
Then colorful houses, cooking a lot, saying hi to everybody that is walking.
Yeah.
Um, it was so much like not leaving my country. That thing to me was just like, wait a minute, is this the US? This is not what I've seen. That was perfect. That was in my imaginary, it just make a click, a perfect smooth click. Plus, everybody speaks slow and they move their lips, so I could understand. If not, through feelings to the lip sync, it was just perfect. It was pretty. It was a continuation of my tropical life in Mexico, but expanded. Let's say that it expanded, and it was pretty nice until the hurricane hit and you start. Well, yeah, you know what happened.
Yeah, that's bad. So where did you go after New Orleans? Did you go back to Mexico?
No, I was living in a hotel with my mom for a few days, and I got a call from a friend in New York. She's from Italy, but she called and said, just come here. We'll figure it out. And yeah, next day I took a bus. I don't remember how much money I had, but I had little money because the bus I took drove me to Atlanta just.
Oh, right. That's a long way away
So,
from.
and by the time, I told you, I went to New Orleans with my hard instruments and with this idea of studying at the University of New Orleans, a career in singing, and, you know, still this idealistic.
Yeah.
Well, so I took this bus and I get off in Atlanta and I called family in Mexico and I say, I really need to get to New York, but I don't have money. Could you please just deposit enough so I could get the rest of my trip going? This was my aunt, and I waited, I guess, there at the station, and I took another bus from Atlanta to New York. And that's when I met the US.
Oh, the
Once
real
I
US.
got off of 30 on Penn Station and I go upstairs, and then I start to see lights and like people, like that was like, whoa,
Yeah, and no one's
yeah.
saying hello to you on the streets in New York. If you said hello to somebody,
Oh,
be
no.
like, fuck off.
And there were more lights up than down. Actually, the
Yeah.
cars are the one with lights, right?
Yeah.
So that's the moment I saw my friend when she's like yelling at me, hey, look down, because I was like,
Yeah.
eh,
Crazy.
so it was a good thing because New York gave me just the shape I needed,
That's
just
good.
the perfect shape. And yes, ¿cómo se dice? It hit me with things I wouldn't know I was looking for. So I get enrolled to the university, I transfer. And one of my first homeworks was to go to the Latino communities and see where the salsa was born. And it just moved everything and start to put everything on place. Because all the music I've been growing, listening in the radio, in the bus, in the neighbor house, it was there. It was created there.
Right.
And I didn't know about any of these. I thought they were the tropical music was coming from Latin America, and then no, it was coming from the U.S. by immigrants from Latin America. And then I went, wait a minute, what's going on? What's immigration? What? What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy the way things
So
work out.
yeah. So it was kind of a social click.
Right. Right. And like when you were growing up, did you get a lot of music from Europe, like we'd say England and stuff like that, or would you listen to a lot of rock or pop or any of that stuff?
Of course, it depends what's your family oriented to.
Right,
And in my
right.
family, they're social workers. My mom is a social worker. My dad is an agronomist, and yeah, they pursue more about folk music and community-rooted music. I would say, of course, we will listen classical music and of course rock music, but not much Beatles, for example.
Right.
A lot of singer-songwriters that were active at the Mexican scene at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We'll listen. How you say that? Oh, I remember this person who did an opera rock. What was his name? I don't know. I don't know about names, but yes, that will put a crazy music to draw with us.
Okay.
Don't talk too much about them. Don't explain too much, but yes, put different and crazy types of music.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. And like, did you find it different writing your own music opposed to playing other people's music? Do you rather writing music, or do you?
Sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Writing is beautiful and it's easy. Lyrics. I remember when I was going into the music school and we were in this class orchestra, right? I used to play viola while I was studying. I'm talking about my 17, 16, 8 years old. And there was a director conducting the orchestra and the rehearsal. And I couldn't stop my mind. I would take the partitura and start to write like for 20 minutes, like by my face and everything, and then go back and again play. And he was nuts with me. He was nuts with me. And yeah, my friends always told me, like, you should write, you should write. I'm very passionate about stories. But lately, and I'm talking about hours ago, I've been discovering that something that I thought it was just cool and nice, which is write about my own experiences, I thought was meaningful and powerful. I mean, not for the people, but it was meaningful to me that I could throw all that out because I needed to speak out. But lately I've been feeling like, yeah, it's good, but what good I'm making to connect to other people if I just keep talking about what I need to say. So I believe that was a moment, but maybe it's time to, I don't know, to be quiet and listen. And I don't know, it's been writing about what I feel, what I need to say, what I need to speak out
Yeah.
right now.
But people, I think people who don't make their own music and they hear your words, they can feel what you're feeling. So then they can connect with it in a lot of ways. So I think that's the good thing
Yeah,
about music.
yeah, but I wonder what if we connect with us because most of my lyrics are very sentimental. Well, what would be a good word to describe? Um, is when you're dreaming about something that passed and you need to
Oh,
recreate it.
nostalgic. Nostalgic?
Thank,
Okay.
thank you. I would love to connect from an opening, wider point of view than nostalgic. And actually, that's another thing I realized when I was living in New York. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna connect with these people and I'm gonna sing about Mexican music or traditional Mexican music. But that's just what we remember. That's memories. What about present? That's something that let's say connect us or enlighten us, but not from what you recall. So I'm in that moment again.
That's
God
good
was
though. That's good though, because for me, when I do music, I'm different in the way I'm always trying to escape, in my own reality. So I'm always trying to like go into another kind of world. So sometimes you can
yes,
almost disconnect from people in that way.
right.
And I think
Yeah,
when you're feeling like that, like you're feeling, I think it's good to feel like that, because then you can go in another direction. You can take every album you do can be a different thing, up and up and up. And even if you fail, at least you try to keep going in a different direction.
right. I think I hear you. I think what is happening, it's been a while since I don't that's one of the effects of no playing for people
Yeah.
in a moment, right? You're just thinking too much, overthinking, I guess, like what if.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how did you get involved with Van Dyke Parks?
Oh, I made this trip last year. Last June was last year was 19, probably 2 years ago, July 2018.
Uh-huh.
Uh, wrote him when I wrote him. I was following him on Instagram, like to many artists. I never imagined to work with him. I just wrote him this friendly message, and he was like, "Oh, wait a moment. What? Who are you?" And I was, yeah, I just write here. Do you think um, I don't know. He asked for music, and he liked it, and he started asking me for translations, and like he writes really fast. I mean, like I'm not very technological in a way that if somebody sends me a message or email, I take like 1 or 2 days to respond.
Mm.
But with Van Dyke, he was like intense. Like, no, send me the music, send me the lyrics. I wanna know what are you saying. And so I did some uh, modest translation. Then I asked somebody, and he's like, "Okay, so you have something to say. Let's hear. Let's start. It opened. He's such a big heart.
Yeah.
He's a spiritual being, but he doesn't talk like that. And his way to show it is being honest, being relaxed, and I that's a smart person as far as I know, and it's contagious. So it gives you a lot of like weightless to react, and that's been a blessing for me to be able to collaborate and yeah, and do what we're doing.
Yeah, that's cool. When I was like 17, I remember I wrote to Van Dyke Parks. I emailed him, and I was like, "Oh, he's never going to email me back." And then I emailed him about I wanted advice on arranging like a quartet or something like that, and he sent me back an email. I was like so excited, and I stuck it on my wall. I was like, "Oh my god, I got
Oh,
it!"
yeah,
And all my
yeah,
friends,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
all my friends were like, "Who's Van Dyke Parks?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't know," and I try to explain it to them. So yeah, I was
Yeah.
excited. So he's such a sweet guy. He's a lovely man, and his talent
Yeah.
matches his niceness because he's very
Yes.
talented. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so how did you get into his music? Was it like Joanna Newsom, or was it?
Yeah, when I was like, I don't remember which age, 2000 something, I was introduced to this CD, ES,
Oh yeah, it's great.
pronounce that. Yeah, it blew my mind. I like her, but I like what it was behind.
Yeah,
It was just,
I rather Van Dyke Park stuff than her stuff.
yeah. Oh, and then I was like, wow, this is a new world, people. That's how I knew about him. And yeah, I never thought that at that moment to write him. It was just like there, like what a discovery, but just that, I embrace it and I keep it to my soul and close, and that's it. It was years later that I sent a message, and I wasn't expecting too much. Just I'm very direct and frontal when I need something. That's one of the things of living in New York. In my country, you don't approach like that. You let things happen, and whatever happens is good.
Yeah.
You let the relationship just, any kind of relationship, just take you where it is. But New Yorkers are very like frontal and this. That's why he was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, I think he took a moment to try to read me, right?
Mm.
But yeah,
Did you go back then and listen to his albums that he did after like the
yeah.
Joanna one? Yeah.
He sent me a lot of his stuff, like solos, duets, the triplets, orchestra,
Yeah.
movies, and acting. And yes, I got to know Van Dyke also. His ¿cómo se dice? Su sentido del humor. His mood.
Right. Okay.
Right. It's important to see where could we go to know each other. So yeah, he presented to me a lot of different arrangements and some of the poetry he likes too, and some of his strengths too, and yeah.
Because he told me about you. I didn't know about your music, and he said, I'm doing an album with Veronica Valerio. And I was like, oh, cool. And he goes, you should check her out. And I checked you out. I was like, well, that's cool music. So that's why I emailed you that time. Emailed you, yeah, I did, yeah. That's what it, so.
He's a very humble person, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool when you have two different people who have different musical kind of ideas and they come together and it has this unique thing, because his arrangements are very kind of great, but they're very eccentric, and it's like listening to another piece of music within a piece of music. So I always find that interesting about his music, and your music's very interesting too. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you're going to do together. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, me too. He has total freedom. What I send harp and voice, just like what I do right here with my equipment, which is very, ¿cómo se dice? Sencillo, very simple, very
minimal.
Thank you for that word.
There we go.
Yeah. I have here. This is a table. ¿Cómo se dice? When you make something new out of something
upcycled.
Right. So you see these legs? They don't belong. I put it. This was a coffee table.
Wow.
And before I made this, I made a song.
Cool.
To name the table as a ship, un barco, a boat.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, in case you were wondering what it's Paul saying about my music, is also different. No,
multi-talented woman here.
Yeah.
So, like, have you got the artwork done? Is the artwork done for the album?
He is talking to his friend. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Okay.
Very, very beautiful person and talented artist. I couldn't pronounce.
Okay.
From Germany.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's exciting. Are you going to release? Are you going to release it on vinyl?
I guess so. I don't know. I'm really not into that. Not just because I'm not technological. It's also because, like I said, I did what it was my job to do, which is harp and voice. All the rest, I'm trusting the universe that it's gonna put us in the right hands and let it fly.
Yeah.
Let it fly.
And like, you're doing a concept album. There's a concept behind it. What's it about? I don't mean exactly, but what kind of?
Well, like I said, I'm very minimal, and Van Dyke is the opposite.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the idea as a farmers raising kind of life, I also see life in a idealistic world we'll get to. But with Van Dyke, I discovered that the idealistic could be harmonious in a colorful, more colors that I see. But it actually has to do with what is it? The name of this podcast?
Oh, hold on to synesthesia. But synesthesia. Hold on to the colors. That thing.
Oh, for the colors.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been something like that. I'm discovering more colors. Like, for example, Van Dyke will say the best fight or the best war right now is happiness. Let's not punch on the face. Let's don't give them gray. Let's give them colors. Hold into the colors.
Yeah.
I'm discovering all that onto me. What was the question? What am I saying?
You just keep talking. It's okay.
If I don't talk, my water pump does. Could you hear?
Oh, I can hear it. Yeah.
You hear?
Thank you,
Yeah,
water
so
pump. Say hello to the water pump.
yeah, so the concept was to let the colors come out. Don't stop any idea of let's invite them all. Let's invite all the people, all the instruments, and let's talk about this wonderful, wonderful world of colors, right? Not just the gray and the blue that we see in the ocean, but
Yeah, yeah. Because life is just about it's how you perceive life. You know, it's like that half empty. You could look at a glass and go, "That's half empty," or you can look, it's half
yeah,
full.
I would think more as a kaleidoscope. Do you have
Kaleidoscope.
a
Yeah,
word?
yeah, yeah. Kaleidoscope.
So
Kaleidoscope.
how you turn the bottle, what you see, but
Ah,
you will
yes.
always colors, right? Different shapes, but you will always see something.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. And do you kind of find that working with Van Dyke, has that changed the way you write music? Or do you write it in a different way, or do you write the same, but have you kind of changed? Because you're working off him too on his melodies and stuff.
Yeah. He's very into plants and I mean the ambient and the global warming and all that. So, for example, right now, I'm very into plants and ambient and all those, but always from my point of view. I'm the one who's listening and watching. Right now, I'm trying to see what if I could be a plant myself.
Right.
So yeah, maybe it has to do with talking to Van Dyke for all this period of time that now I'm starting to see the plants like, oh, maybe I'm the plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, trees can communicate to each other from under the ground, which is
Right.
fascinating. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I love that. And that's one of the reasons I live where I live, because there is this aquifer, these pozos, all the water that communicates the city. Like
Right.
every place you go and you dig a bit, water comes up. It's
Wow.
full of the cenotes and rivers and all that. I love that.
That's
And
cool.
it's a city that really pays attention to that. This,
Oh.
for the people don't know, this is Yucatan. Mérida is in the peninsula of Yucatan. And yeah, and you eat very well here too.
Really? What kind of food do you eat in
They
where
eat
you're from?
a lot of work, but there is a special sauce they put to many of their dishes, which is called achiote. It's a very red.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I
And
love
you cook
spice.
pork under the earth, under.
Oh, like barbecue kind of.
You open a hole.
Oh,
you
right.
Put the meat, the red thing,
Okay.
covered with banana leaves, and let it cook for hours.
Wow.
Or you can make a masa pizza, which is the dough of the corn, also fill it, also dig a hole, also cover with banana leaves.
Okay. That's interesting.
Octopus with that red thing on the broil,
Yeah.
banana
Oh.
leaves.
So how do you how do you light it? Do you like put stuff in it and then light it and then put everything on top, or is that the way it works?
You just add tortilla to your cochinita pibil, which is the pork. You
Okay.
just put it on a tortilla and make a taco. Or you make a breast and you put that inside with onions. Oh, what's another way to eat cochinita?
We're so boring over here. Our food is like potatoes. That's Irish. Irish's main food is potatoes.
Well, you have beer.
We do have beer. I don't drink beer though, but yeah, we have beer.
Mhm.
I like whiskey. I'm more of a whiskey
And
man.
whiskey,
Yeah,
yes.
whiskey's
Uh-huh.
good. You know how you got tequila, so you know it's balancing it
And
out.
lately we have mezcal.
Oh,
Mhm.
what's that? What's that?
Mezcal is a different type of agave. Agave is the one you produce tequila with.
Ah,
It is it has this shape like a star, right?
oh, cool.
And it's one color, special size of this and that. And mezcal is produced from the same plant with a different color.
Ah, wow.
And it tastes a bit different. To me, it tastes more smoky. I like mezcal better. And it don't give you hangover. It doesn't.
Hangovers,
Yeah.
like I can't deal with hangovers anymore. I'm too old. I'm getting too old. I just can't do them. They kill me.
Oh, I entered to that ¿cómo se dice? Ambience. I never got to the hangovers myself.
Really, you lucky woman.
Yeah, yeah. I think that. Yeah.
I've had too many hangovers and too many bad stories where I can't remember things. I'm like, oh shit, what did I do last night? It's like, oh no, oh no, no, no,
Oh
no.
my
Yeah,
goodness! I wonder what is to be like that, which is pretty much many people. You
crazy.
know.
I remember I ran home out of a nightclub. I was in a nightclub and I ran home, and I hit my head off a signpost. You know, like a stop sign where it says stop. You know, on the road.
Wow.
But I was so drunk when I got home. I said to my father and my brothers, like, some guys bet me up, and they're like, where? I was like, uptown. And then they went uptown, like they couldn't find anyone. And they came home. I was like, yeah, I got hit by a signpost. I was so drunk I didn't even realize it. So that's
Wow. Wow.
yeah. I've too many other stories like that. They probably wouldn't be. Probably can't tell them on a podcast.
See, I used to be a free controller, and I think you have to let go yourself to drink that amount
Oh God, yeah.
and don't know what happened next or who was gonna take you home or whatever. That thing just made me very worried. I can't let myself go that much. I'm
No.
saying too much for a podcast too.
Yeah, no one would take me home with being that drunk. Trust me. They'd be like, "Go away from me, you weirdo."
No, I think part of the hangover is that you're having drinks with your friends, no?
Yeah. But I mean, no, I mean, if a girl saw me out, she's not gonna go, "Hey, who's that lovely guy?" She'd be like, "Get that guy away from me, that crazy drunken man." Yeah, I've been a bit drunk sometimes, but hey, what can you do? It's all fun, you know. If you ever come to Ireland, you got to get drunk. That's kind of a main thing in
Yeah.
Ireland. You know, it's good. Have you been to Ireland? Did you go to Ireland?
No.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, right. It's cool.
No.
Very green. Very green.
I bet. I hope this situation changes and we all can travel again.
Yeah. What's the plan for you? Going to go on tour?
Like I said, no plans.
No
Just
plan.
keep composing, talking, drinking. No. Well, yes.
Getting drunk and writing music.
People, I don't know. They won't get the video, right? Just
They will. No, they will. They will.
Oh, well, because I was going to say I'm talking about my tea.
Oh yeah.
Don't think I'm contradicting myself.
It's pure tequila. That's what that is. Pure tequila.
No, actually, I moved the mezcal from my table before we start to talk. I don't want people to read me wrong.
Oh no way. So what music are you listening to at the moment? I know you're doing your own music, but what are you listening to?
Really? Can I say that here?
You can say whatever you want.
Oh my God. Christmas just happened and I made my family crazy about this Charlie Brown Christmas album.
It's a great album.
I put it day and night. But
Really?
it's so good.
It's good though. That's a good album. Charlie
Yeah.
Brown's Christmas. Yeah. Christmas songs are good. You gotta
And
love it.
we listen a lot of Mahalia Jackson also for Christmas,
Right.
which I love it. And we listen some Joe Cooker. And what else was Christmas period? What else did I listen? Of course, music from Veracruz. Patricio Hidalgo and El Regreso de la Conga. Very nice traditional music, but festive. You know, Latin America has very nice carols, but very like dancing
Yeah,
for this time of the year. Colombia has a great hits one.
really.
Yeah, and it's fun to put it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting where you're from and the weather dictates how your music sounds. Because, you know, I'm from Ireland and we're always in cold and we're inside and we're singing songs about being depressed and stuff like that. And a lot of countries who have like sun, you know, their music's very happy and Europe's music's more kind of gloomy because of our. I think weather has a big thing to play with how we do music. Because when you're inside, you're way more introverted than when you're outside because you have to think more and, you know, that kind of aspect.
Totally hear you. As a matter of fact, I would love to be more open and don't be shy and don't take me wrong. But what was coming to my mind is I remember my sister is a lawyer, right? So she showed us that at least in this country, there is 2 cities.
Right.
Listen to these people. There's 2 cities which it's not penalized that you have a concubine. That means a person out of your marriage to be with. And the reason behind this, believe it or not, is that by being tropical cities in such a heat, people need this.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna freaking find what's the law and be more specific on it, but I was nuts when I hear
Wow.
this.
That's crazy.
Well, it has to do with what you're saying.
That's mad. Wow.
It is accepted. Why? Because of the heat, whatever that means.
Wow. That is just crazy. What about cold? Because we get cold here all the time. You can have less partners.
Less partners.
Yeah, less partners. So cold.
You just drink more mezcal, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, in the north of the countries where they produce mezcal, and those they reconfort your spirit and they warm you up. That's what you get, my friend.
Okay, there we go. Good excuse to get another woman.
Think for the male. Don't think it's about the woman.
Oh, so the woman can the woman get another guy?
I mean, it's.
So anyone can.
Let's not get to that. I wouldn't know what to say.
Do you like any like African music?
Of course, that's our origins.
Oh, so like Fela Kuti. Do you know Fela Kuti?
Yeah, of course.
Amazing.
Yeah, we love. I by saying we in Veracruz culture, we pray a lot of respect for African roots, which is actually what originates the folklore music that is now known in the world. It's called Son Jarocho, and it has 3 roots: African, Spain, and indigenous from Mexico.
Wow.
And there is a big community of dancers, also African dancers in Veracruz, and there is city and small towns named after communities in Africa, like Mozambique, Medellin, with with a lot of M.
Okay.
Yeah, big tradition. And my sister, for example, has. You could say African features. She's white, but her mouth, her nose are more like in the African oriented features. So we're very mixed.
Mixed race, yeah.
Yeah, in the Gulf of Mexico, because that's where our conquerors are right from, and they mix. Yeah, we pay a lot of respect to Africa.
That's cool. Yeah, because African music, there's so much different. You know, Senegal has music and Congolese have music, and it's like a melting pot of just different types of music. And I think it doesn't get enough exposure. You know, like jazz music doesn't get enough exposure. It's almost like pop music.
It depends where you live. I would say.
That's true.
Veracruz. Probably not in Yucatan, but in Veracruz, it's completely normal to maybe you don't listen to specifically from well, depends what you work on, but for me surrounded by artists is like normal, like hey,
Yeah.
here music, here dancers, same thing, filmmakers, like everybody's like como se dice, well versed
Right.
on African music, uh, and there is other mechanisms that comes uh, and smooth that out. Like for example, the hit that was this Cuban music renacimiento, renaissance. I don't know how we say renacimiento.
Renaissance.
Yeah, to the African music, because they're now have the lyrics in Spanish, but they're talking about all those rhythms, right? And it was such a big hit. I remember in 2000, before 2000, there were tons of festivals in the country, in the whole country,
Yeah.
that had with somehow with African.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right now we don't have budget for that because of songs
Yeah.
and things. But when I was growing up, there we will have many like festivals around the culture.
Oh,
Africa.
that's interesting. Do you
Yeah.
when you write music, do you write? Because I always find it interesting how different people write music. I normally write music in my head and then I kind of go to the piano or something, or it can be I think mostly better stuff I write when I'm kind of like thinking of something as opposed to doing it on a piano. But do you write in your head or do you write an instrument, or do you write lyrics first? Which comes first for you?
Yeah, always lyrics. I have an idea,
Oh,
and I go, I
wow.
write, but non-stop writing. See,
Wow.
it's not songs. It's just to let out of my mind whatever I'm thinking of, and then when I catch something, I start to mark it. So I found the theme of what I want to say, and then I start to dig on the theme. Then I grab my harp and I start to go. Like I've been stuck in a chorus kind of all December, and all it's saying is that I want to dance, and it's never happened to me that I have a chorus and that I don't have anything else to say, but just like I want to dance. So yesterday I was thinking and daydreaming that I might have a song just for an opening act, you know? Maybe that's it. That's the song, chorus, and a lot of like, what do you want to do? Ask the people around me, because that's what I'm expecting. I want someone literally to talk to me.
Yeah. Good. Thankfully for this coronavirus, it's not the easiest thing in the world now. You know, it's quite hard.
Even though we're safe and we're talking from a really nice place, you and me, I'm saying, like in our own homes and provided, right?
It is cool though that you can talk to someone so far away, you know, that and you can see them and everything. Like that's when I was a kid, I couldn't envision that. But the only thing about it is, I think I was talking this about would talk to my friend the other day about it. You know, when I was a kid, and probably you was a kid, we didn't have like mobile phones. You know, we kind of I think my attention span was better back then, because I think kids are missing out now. What they know what everything is, and you know, I think they don't discover enough things because the internet can provide them with everything. Is we kind of had to navigate our way through life and stuff like that more, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I believe it's gonna change. Definitely, we can see that because we relate to things from a different point. But for these new agers, they're coming with new chips, and they connecting differently. So it's hard for me to get to them because they already thinking different. If we keep analyzing them from our point of view, our window, which is different, just different, it's not better or worse, just different, we wouldn't get them.
Right.
We are stigmatizing them, I believe.
Yeah, I get what you mean. The only thing I will say is,
Because I see,
Sorry.
sorry, when I used to play with musicians, it
Yeah.
always surprised me. Like, I don't want to say, yeah, sure. I'm about to get 40, and my partners, musical partners, were in their 20s. It was crazy to me how they could just like translate music, like sitting down, put the
Really?
fine, this, that. I was like, what?
Really?
Wait, it took years for someone to learn something and you just like translate like that.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, I should stop analyzing. They just come different. They just made different. So they have good and bad, as we did.
That's true. That's true. I do still miss when I was younger. I miss the kind of anonymity, you know, like that. There wasn't phones everywhere and that kind of stuff. That annoys me a bit. I'm just getting old. I'm just an old man now.
Yeah.
You know, I think for myself, my attention span isn't as good as it was. You know, I used to be able to sit down and learn a piece, and I'd probably do that now and get a bit bored and go, I could check something on my phone, or you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Who knows?
No. I hear you. I use my phone in a good way. I mean, like to do research about the songs, but sometimes I'll have a word I don't know what it means, and it's so easy. Just grab your phone and you have it. I don't have to go home and find the dictionary. You know?
Right.
I just find them and actually can have an example of it.
Actually, David Bowie used to do this interesting thing. William Burroughs would cut out. He'd write different words on paper. So David Bowie took this. He'd write a different word on a paper, and he'd cut it out, cut another one out, and put them all in a hat. And then he'd pick the words out, and that would make the lyrics of his songs. So some of his songs are just those words, which is a cool thing to do.
I love it. I have one song called Cadáver Exquisito, which is the name of that game. Cadáver Exquisito.
Right.
Well, the translation on Cadáver Exquisito is very necrophilia. Cadaver is like dead body.
Cadaver, yeah.
And exquisite. And that's again, you just make lines, right? Let's say 10 lines like this.
Yeah.
10 lines.
Uh-huh.
Let's say I rip this piece of paper. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Sure, let's do that. Why not? And you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you read just the front part, and that's your story. Just these lines, the ones that are on, right?
Yeah.
This one, no, this one. This one, no, this one, and this one.
Oh. So you made a song like that? Can you make a song doing that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Cadáver Exquisito.
Oh, that's how you made it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. How did it turn out? What did it make sense? The words and everything?
Yeah, I made it about the books I was reading at the moment. And it says we're all moving to a accidental safari because we don't know if we're getting there or not. Right. Oh. And so I'm recalling the words I use, like they can random, just like life, it is random. Some aves, birds. No, birds is pájaros. Aves is everything that flies.
Oh, right, okay. Aviation.
Aves, no, the cosa, the thing.
Okay. Like a
it's
bird.
The being that flies.
Okay.
But
okay.
Bird is pájaro, so ave, it's more general. You don't have a word?
No, ave, never heard of it. No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to have to teach me. There we go. I'm getting Spanish lessons now.
No. Come on, you've been such a wonderful translator. Whoa.
No. I need Spanish lessons. My terrible Spanish.
Oh, gosh.
Do you write sometimes in English? Do you ever write lyrics in English?
No, I wish I could. It's just like the mood of the language. I don't get it. Sometimes things that I think I'm getting as a sweet person, my family gets them as a corny kind of,
Okay.
right?
Right.
I'm talking specifically about the culture with the English language. I don't get it. And then sometimes I see that things like Fargo or anything from Coen Brothers, and I'm like, oh wow, this is wonderful. I like this, but then I like the other aspect, like the corny stuff, and then I'm lost and like I'm not getting this. I'm not, if I don't get the cultural thing, I just don't let myself to play with the words. I don't wanna say something that it's not my place of understanding, you know?
Yeah. And it changes the language you sing in, it changes the beat of where you actually the beat of the song, you know, because certain words are longer and and the way the pronunciation, so you can't.
The thing is, yes, to say words, yes, I can communicate, but I'm saying to communicate the message. It is important to me the word you use, like we just did now. I can say bird, which is an animal that flies, but if I say ave, it's every being that flies, and that's different.
Okay. Ave.
So
That'd
if
be
I cannot
that'd be a cool
use
name. Cool name for your album. That's a cool name for
to
your
what?
album. That's a good name for your album. Ave.
Ave, yes. Ave.
That's a cool one. Yeah. So
I'm trying to write right now about the
okay.
calendas mayas. We have in the Asian Maya history
Okay.
this thing. You have it in our land that you look at the first month of the year, and by watching every day, you know how it's gonna be your year. So
Really?
day one, January. The day two is February. Day three is March. Right? So until you get to the day 12. And then you start to walk backwards. Day 13 is December. Day 14 is November. Until you reach the 25th. Then day 26, you start to read bimestral. 2 months. January and February is your day 26,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then last day, the 31st, you read the hours. All that to know
Wow.
how's your year going to be.
Wow. I think I
So
might
I'm trying to
just
decipherate what I want to say about that, how worth it is to me or not to know, or how much I can let the atmosphere tell me what kind of year I'm going to have, if I
yeah.
want to trust that or not.
Yeah. Plus I suppose you can just let it go. Let it go with the flow, you know, that kind of way.
Like that.
Yeah, go with the
Let me.
flow. You have a lovely place. Your place is lovely.
Thank you, Bob. Very welcome.
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful place, I must say. You know. So, do you find where you're living or where you are influences your music?
Absolutely. That's why I take care of where I choose to live. Of course, of course, of course, of course. I really need to see green, and I really need to feel the light. I don't have curtains.
Right.
Actually, beautiful, but March and April, I'm dying here inside. But yeah, I surrounded myself with tons of bottles, water, a carpet, so I
Yeah.
can go barefoot. And yeah, it is important to me to
Yeah.
be comfortable.
Yeah. I kind
So
of I miss I miss the water. If I'm not beside the sea, I kind of feel weird because I'm from where I'm from. The sea is like the ocean is like 2 minutes away. So, you know, we go surfing and stuff like that. So if I'm not near the water, it kind of I get a bit kind of, you know.
oh wow, it's marvelous. I
Yes.
love water.
Oh, it's
It is a
beautiful.
big inspiration to me, the
Yeah,
water.
me too. I must say, I'll send you a picture of where my beach. Oh, it's a beautiful beach.
Oh,
It's so
please.
nice. Yeah, it's so nice. Even in bad weather, I think it's nice because it has a kind of vibe and an atmosphere. Like I don't mind bad weather. I kind of like the rain because it's something. There's something kind of cozy about the rain. You kind of feel like when you're inside, you're like, oh, I'm kind of warm. So I like weather's kind of a cool thing that you can put into your music. You know, the atmosphere of it, I think.
Yeah, I think right now you just remind me. I was reading something about the shape of the water, not the movie, just like what the water tells us about ourselves. And this moment when I start to think that maybe I'm such a egoista or narcissistic
Egotistic? Yeah.
person is because the first you can see through the water is yourself. It's so clear, but it's because it's actually projecting yourself. And then I stopped. I was like, oh, here we go again. Before I used to feel in the water like, oh, of course. Actually, I most of my CDs have a title related to the water, like Songs of Ports or Journey through the Water, and it reflects always from that sense of a woman who is standing at the shore watching what is going or coming through the water, right? It always had to do with that. And then when you sit and you don't see the oleaje, you know, the water coming and down, up and down, it's just like,
Yeah,
you know,
calm.
right? And then you see, let's see what else it tells me. And that's when you see, oh, it's not telling anything. It's just your face. That's what I mean.
So before I let you go, what's the story? When's the first single out? Is it out soon and then the album's out in April? Is it first single?
I don't know when it's going to be released. I believe before April. And that song, I'm not playing harp, just singing. And I said it's very tropical. It describes the city pretty well and what happens in this like moon state of that city. It's mystical, it's magical, it's fantasy like.
Brilliant.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I'm looking forward to hearing it. When you have the album out, you and Van Dyke should come on. We three of us can have a chat. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be good. I'll put up your music to everyone and send it to people and all that kind of stuff. So anything that helps, I'll do that. No bother.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries. Well, I better let you go because I've taken up a lot of your time. It's an hour and a half nearly. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no, because of that. I wish we could listen to whomever is listening to this, but while not, just feel a hug. So.
Well,
embrace.
Tell the people who are listening where they can reach you on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. What's the address and all?
Right, it's Vero Arpa y Voz. That's my Instagram, and my webpage is veronicavalerio.com.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll put it in a story on Instagram. I'll tag in one of these stories and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it should be up next week. So hopefully, but thank you so much for doing this. I really, really enjoyed it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
No worries, and I can't wait to hear the record.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be... Right, Veronica, well, you have a great day. Yeah, day. What time is it there? 1 o'clock? 1:15? 1:17?
My watch, but yeah, it should be around midday, 12:30.
It's 6:17 here, so we're going into the evening. So
6 hours difference, right? I believe.
Five.
Oh,
yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. Well, anyways, thank you again so much. It was great talking to you. I love your music, and yeah, can't wait to hear it. And I hope everyone hears it because it's going to be good.
Big hug.
Big hug. Sweet. Have a sweet day.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And everybody.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.